Hey, and welcome to the Bossed Up Podcast, episode 519. I'm your host, Emily Aries, the founder and CEO of Bossed Up, and today we are talking about how to ace the interview when your interview is being conducted by an AI agent. Perhaps you've been hearing all the buzz around agentic AI, which is a more complex than necessary way of saying these are AI components or pieces of technology that can prompt themselves, right? Agentic AI basically means that it's got its own ability to decide what to do next. Like those large language models like ChatGPT, it doesn't require you to prompt it. The AI itself can take initiative, can decide what direction to take a conversation in, and can really make its own judgment calls. For instance, it can predict the success someone might have in a particular job or role. That's why so many companies are using agentic AI as part of their screening process, their hiring processes, really to scale them up and to do them at a more efficient cost, much to the chagrin probably of our recruiter friends who are listening. There is big business behind agentic AI in hiring. Workday just announced that it acquired a company called Paradox, which is a candidate experience agent that uses conversational AI to simplify every step of the job application journey, particularly for high volume frontline industries. So if you need to hire 600 servers for an inauguration ball, let's say, this is the kind of technology that major recruiting operations are leveraging to make it so that you not only get screened by an AI who's scanning your resume and your application to at first even see if you're deemed worthy of a frontline interview, but then as a next step, that first interview is now being conducted by AI agents that use conversational AI, as according to Paradox. Similarly, LinkedIn just rolled out its own piece of technology called Hiring Assistant, which estimates that it can offload 80% of the pre-offer hiring process from human recruiters to this AI tool. I'll drop links to both of those news items in case you're interested in learning more. But bringing on AI technology and AI agents in particular is the trend in hiring and recruiting right now that we are going to see continue because of the cost savings that it offers to businesses and employers. Now, for job seekers, including some of you who are listening, this means dealing with new levels of inhumanity in what can already feel like a soulless modern job search. I hear you if you are sharing your frustrations. I hear you if you are, disappointed in the dystopian nature of the job search these days already. I'm afraid it sounds like things are only getting worse right now. You know that ATS systems, applicant tracking systems, have been using bots to scan your resumes and your application materials for years now. And we've got podcasts on how to deal with that. I'll link to those related episodes in the show notes. But increasingly, candidates report that when they log on to an interview, that very first screener interview, they're met with a faceless AI agent on the other end of the video call. Sometimes like characterized by just a black box, or sometimes by like an audiogram wave line that sort of animates the voice. But the irony, of course, is that you need to have your camera on for those screener interviews, even when you're not being reciprocated because the person screening you isn't real. Now, according to a report in CBS News, these AI interviewers are run by an algorithm that, quote, reviews and judges the candidate's video submission based on verbal data. So the words you use and how you deliver them both matter when it comes to acing that first round of interview with a robot. So how do we navigate this? First of all, don't panic, but do practice. And like anything, you're going to want to practice how you want to play. So on these interviews with AI agents, you're not going to get the real-time nonverbal feedback that you would from a normal human on the other end of the phone. So you've got to practice speaking into the void and getting comfortable doing so without losing your humanity in the process. Because the irony here is if you go stiff and act like a robot yourself, that's not going to go over well. You're not going to be coded as an engaging human by, ironically, the robot that's judging you. So you have to maintain your humanity and not go stiff as a board because you're nervous. Here's a 3-step strategy for how to practice this kind of interviewing in an incremental way. First, ask a friend to hop onto a video call with you and do a mock interview using questions that you've developed based on the job description. At first, just have a regular conversation where you're getting your friend's nonverbal feedback in real time. Then, do round 2 with your friend off camera. That way you can practice what it feels like to speak to a black box while maybe even seeing a mirror image of yourself along the way. And your friend can still be there to listen and give you feedback after the fact. So that if you do look or sound different when they're off camera, they can give you that feedback and really hold up that mirror to you in a supportive way. And then the final step in this 3-part strategy is to practice completely on your own, recording and reviewing without your friend there, but watching back the tape as you record your answers, because that's what it's going to feel like to have to summon energy and enthusiasm all by yourself. Learn to speak into the little camera lens on your phone or computer like you would be to a good friend. And if it helps, you can even put a little smiley face on a sticky note and post it right next to your camera to help you keep that in mind. Whatever you do, don't lose your humanity along the way. Give yourself permission to have real facial expressions, not take yourself too seriously. Smile, relax, breathe, and use hand gestures like you normally would. It is uncomfortable at first, but practice makes permanent. So don't allow yourself to become a robot just because you're interviewing with one. We all know that employers are using AI to screen candidates, but job seekers can use AI tools too. In fact, there's some new AI-based technology that can help you prepare for the interview in particular. Google's got Interview Warmup, a free AI-based tool that you can use to help practice answers to common interview questions. It can help analyze your responses, identify keywords, and share common themes. And for an even more sophisticated suite of tools, check out finalroundai.com. They have a variety of tools available, but my favorite is their AI mock interview, which offers transcription and analysis, providing detailed feedback on filler words, vocal tone, body language, and content. It even provides AI-powered feedback by scoring your performance and providing targeted improvement tips, including drafting ideal answer suggestions. The one thing I don't recommend that you should steer clear from is their interview co-pilot tool, which is designed to essentially play in the background while you are having an actual interview. And it can actually listen in on the questions that the interviewer is asking you and provide you answers in real time. But every time I've seen this tool go viral, it's because someone's just reading off their screen in a particularly robotic way or trying to kind of pretend like they're coming up with the answer when it's clearly some AI generated slop that they're just regurgitating. I don't recommend that particular use of the tool because it totally takes you out of the moment and turns you into nothing much more than a robot yourself. So bring your humanity to this process, even though it can feel like you're the only one doing so. It's a brave new world out there, but I hope today's conversation can help you move in the right direction and take charge of your experience of the process. Whether you are fighting the future and sort of raising your fist in the sky with frustration, or you're leaning into it with curiosity and excitement. Either way, it's here. It's happening. This is the time to radically accept these new norms and do your best to prepare for it without losing your humanity along the way. As the New York Times put it in a recent article about this very topic, quote, "You might have thought artificial intelligence was coming for your job. First, it's coming for your job interviewer." That future is here. So we humans got to stick together and help each other navigate it one step at a time. For more guidance just like this and on every single aspect of the job search, from writing your first resume in a decade to negotiating a final offer of acceptance, you can check out Hired, my on-demand job search accelerator video course, which walks through the modern job search and gives you tons of step-by-step tactics and tools to land your best next job. Learn more at bossedup.org/gethired. And in the meantime, check out all the resources that I mentioned today, including links to lots of related articles and podcasts at bossedup.org/episode 519. That's bossedup.org/episode 519. And as always, let's keep the conversation going after the episode in the Bossed Up Courage community on Facebook and in the Bossed Up group on LinkedIn. Until next time, let's keep bossin' in pursuit of our purpose. And together, let's lift as we climb.